thanks so much for coming along to this, and good night. We'll see you next
Happy to
time.
be here. Adios, y'all. Peace out. I was, you know, basically raised and weaned on other people's records. And my record collection, and when I was a kid, my parents had a Zenith Hi-Fi with the Tweed speakers, and my father's collection was on one side, my mother's on the other. My mother's was crooners, you know, Sinatra, Perry Como, those guys, Andy Williams. My dad's side was much more eclectic than that, Django Reinhardt too. A lot of great jazz records, a lot of great country records, modern sounds of country music, Ray Charles stuff. And I would lay on the floor and look at these. You know, my goal was to become one of those guys. So my first trip to a recording studio was really surreal. It didn't feel like a real place. My first experience was I saved up $9,000 and went into a studio called Loma Ranch down in Fredericksburg, Texas, and was always kind of overwhelmed by the gear. Still am. I've had to learn to actually become, to actually value my own voice in the studio, my opinion, because initially I deferred to my first 4 records I made at Jack's Tracks, which is in one of Cowboy Clement's old studios, and I worked with Alan Reynolds, and Alan is one of the most easygoing isn't the term. I mean, he really knows how to get there. His theory is you can't make magic in the studio, but you can allow magic to happen. He's not a big talkback guy. He's not an intimidator. He's not inclined to. He's more inclined to cast a session like a short film, and find the best players that he assumes are the right guys for that particular singer, that particular artist. I go in with a pretty good idea. I collaborate with the producer on the choice of material, but the material is pretty well set in stone by the time I get there, at least in terms of guitar vocal. I would attribute a lot of arrangements to producers. I have a quartet out of Austin that have been playing with me for years called the Staggering Prophets, and we've probably got 60, 70 songs in the bag. And when I do a live show, somebody will holler out for something that I haven't played maybe in 10 years, and we'll swing at it. You know, it's like, for me, perfection's for squares on this level. It's very important to me that we just, and I might ask them to sing the second verse because I don't know it, and suddenly it's part of the show. So I try to convey that and bring that along at all times. It's almost, it's really, it's you know, in a business sense, it's absolutely suicidal. It's absolutely insane. But it's comfortable for me. I'm using this Telefunken 251, I think it's called right now. I've developed a real affinity for certain vocal mics. That much I know. No, my technical abilities are, actually, I'm not allowed really too close to the gear because I have an electromagnetic field that Gina can testify to this. Equipment breaks. I mean, honestly, I'm serious. It's really strange. I mean, a cell phone will work for a day and a half. I can't wear a wristwatch. I have this kind of strange thing going on. You know, I did an interview on the bus a couple of years ago, and this guy was just not a real pleasant individual. And I said, "Well," he says, "What is that?" And I just held this thing in my hand for about 30 seconds, and it just went. So consequently, you know, I have a healthy, beautiful respect.
This is great, Hal. Thank you so much.
Oh, Alan, thank you very much. Thanks for letting me pontificate.